Okay, so for today's do now, it said you're going to use the word peculiar, which means strange or weird. A peculiar way to travel to school will be. So think about how do you usually travel to school, and then think of a like strange way to travel to school, and you're going to write your answer in the chat. Okay, so I'll give you a few minutes to do that, and we'll see if anyone else joins our class.
Sorry, a peculiar way to travel to school would be on an airplane.
Good, that's a good one. So there's an example. Philip, can you think of another example? What is a peculiar way to travel to school? A peculiar way to travel to school would be by train. We don't have any train tracks around here. So that would be a strange way to travel to school. So a
A weird
peculiar,
way to travel to school would be bird flight.
okay, good. All right, you guys. So let me reshare my screen. So for today, our schedule is a little bit different. So we don't have as much time as our schedule before, but you guys gonna work on student application for 15 minutes, and then we're going to start our academic vocabulary for this workshop. We're gonna look at 5 words today, and we're gonna look at a concept outline, looking at a specific word that's gonna help us understand better about some of the text we're gonna read, okay? So go ahead and get logged on to student application. Give me a thumbs up when you have it pulled up and you're ready to start. Go ahead and get logged off of student application. We're gonna go ahead and head over to our lesson for today. So if you guys go back to today's lesson, actually let me go back. You guys make sure you're on Canvas. All right, so if you start on Canvas, if you click, Markel, you won't have to do this because you have a book. So you'll be good to go in just a second. If you click building knowledge, it'll take you to the Google Slides we're going to use for today. Okay, so go ahead and make a copy. Give me a thumbs up when you have it pulled up. All right, Markel, you can close your Chromebook since you have a book. And we're actually going to be starting on page 74. So if you want to flip to page 74. Philip, are you ready? Do you have the Google Slides pulled up?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so we're going to go over, um, you guys have already completed the do now. Really quickly, Markel, can you think of what would be a strange way to travel to school? Our word is peculiar, which means strange or weird. So a peculiar way to travel to school will be, huh? On a skateboard, yep. Especially if you have to go very far, you might get really tired. All right, so our literacy goal for today is to generate written examples for domain specific vocabulary to deepen our understanding. So that's a lot of words, a lot of big words. Basically, that means we're going to come up with some written examples that's going to relate to our vocabulary so that we can better understand what we're going to be reading. And then our language goal is to collaborate to discuss the concept of adaptation and express relevant details. So we're going to go over um, examples of adaptation, and we're going to come up with some examples together. So we're going to collaborate and work together. All right. So those are our goals for today. This is the concept organizer that we will be using. So, Markel, are you on page 74? Perfect. I'm going to have to minimize this a little bit, but you guys are going to write on your Google slide. So just keep that in mind. You might have to flip back and forth. Just so that you can see what's going on mine. All right. So let me zoom in a little bit. All right. Is everybody good? All right. So this is a concept organizer. We're going to look at the word adaptation. And so in this workshop, we're going to think deeply about the word adaptation and learn concept or content words that will help us better understand the text. All right, so we have the word adaptation. Just by looking at this word up here, or by looking at the word, can you guys tell me how many syllables does adaptation have? Adaptation. Four syllables, right? And what part of speech is it? Is it a noun, verb, adjective, adverb? Says it right next to our syllable. So there's four. It's a noun. So that means it is a person, place, or thing, or concept. So that's what we're looking at the word today. So our sentence says, a goby's suckers are an adaptation that help it to climb. Do you remember the goby fish in the anchor video? Yeah. So this sentence, actually, I'm gonna have you guys say the word. Let me go back. So let's start with adaptation. Can you say that for me? Adaptation. Go ahead, Aylin.
Adaptation.
Good. Philip.
Adaptation.
Good. All right. So our sample sentence. So this sentence has clues to help us figure out the meaning. To help it climb tells us that suckers are helpful. And adaptation must be something that helps an animal. So just by reading this sentence, we haven't even gotten to the meaning yet, but just by reading the sample sentence, we kind of get a clue about what an adaptation is. It helps an animal. Okay. So let's look at the meaning. All right. So an adaptation is a change in a plant or animal that increases its chance of staying alive. So in this blank here, you guys are going to type change, and then Markel, you're going to write change. Do you have something to write with? Great. So, we're gonna fill in our meaning with change. A change in a plant or animal that increases its chances or its chance of staying alive. That is the meaning of adaptation. Huh? Yep, where it says meaning. Over here, yep. Perfect. I can still read it. All right, so that's the meaning. Now let's go over some characteristics. Changes. So a characteristic of an adaptation is changes how a plant or animal. So if the goby fish has suckers that help it climb, those suckers are helping it do something, right? So a characteristic of an adaptation, sorry, I keep forgetting I have to pay attention to chat. It changes how the plant or animal looks or act. So if you guys remember some of the adaptations from the video, there was a branch-like caterpillar, right? That adaptation changed the way it looked, so it blended in with the branches. So we're gonna add looks and acts. That is one characteristic. Of adaptation. So if you guys remember the squid or the octopus from the video, you guys remember that? The special adaptation changed the way it looked. We're good? The next characteristic is it helps plants and animals survive in nature. Hmm? Right. Yep. Okay, so it helps plants and animals survive in nature, and it changes how they may look or how they may act. So those are essential characteristics or important things about the word adaptation. And when we see the word adaptation, we can think about, okay, so that means something is going to change. This animal is probably going to change its behavior or how it looks just so that it can survive. All right, we're going to move on to examples. Aylin, can you read the first example, first bullet point?
Lizards can change color to match their environments.
Okay. So the first example mentions a lizard, that it mentions that a lizard can change its color to match its environment. That meets the characteristic of it changes how an animal looks. So that's why that's a really good example, because it gives us more information about that characteristic. Okay. The next one, Philip, can you read the next bullet point under example? Do you see it? Right under where Aylin just read. Do you see where we are?
Yes, I see where you are.
Go ahead. Read this out loud for us, Philip.
People adjust to how people adjust to seasons.
People adjust to changing seasons. So, what are some things that we have to do now, Markel, that it's a little bit colder? How do we change or adapt to the season? What do you have on right now? What do you have on?
Get on coats.
Yeah, we wear coats. Would you wear that coat in the summer
No.
on a 90-degree day? No. So we have to adapt to the weather. So that's another example of adaptations. Animals adapt, humans adapt, we all change.
I meant what I was going to say that we prepare for the winter.
You're right. That's us adapting. When it's starting to get cold, we can't wear the same things we will wear when it's hot. All right. Now we have to come up with one more example of an adaptation. So can you guys think of something changing, an animal changing its behavior or an animal changing how it looks? So we need one more example of an adaptation or a change. So give me an example. What might change because it's trying to survive or stay alive? Can you think of an animal?
Like any animal?
Mm-hmm. So you guys are working on this last example.
Like the deers, like don't have some like tigers and lions that go after it. Usually, and like this one animal wants to go after it, like tail That I can make a noise and it warns the other people. And it warns the other one to run away.
Yes, that's perfect. Do you know which animal that is?
I forgot.
It's okay. Go ahead and write it in your book. Right? So there are animals. Do you need another pencil? You do? Okay. So there are animals who use camouflage. Aylin put camouflage in the chat. Is there a specific animal that you can think of that uses camouflage? I'm gonna write my example in the box too. If you guys agree with my example, or can you just give me a thumbs up? So Philip, remember you're coming up with an example of an animal that has to change or make some adaptations. Okay. All right. So my example is sharks. Sharks have sharp teeth to help catch prey, right? That helps them survive. That helps them catch their food so that they can eat.
Wait, can dogs eat other sharks?
If they're big enough, maybe. All right. So those are examples. Now we're gonna have to look at non-examples. Okay. So these will be things that are not related or don't explain or describe the word adaptation. A student moves to a new school but does not learn the new school's rules. Is that student adapting to or changing to the new school?
We're adapting getting used to it.
To change, yeah.
Yeah.
So this will be a non-example because this new student isn't learning the new rule, or the student isn't not learning the new rules of the school. That's like you guys coming back to school and not following the way you're supposed to walk in the hallway by not social distancing. Those will be non-examples. Okay. So another example or non-example will be a woolly mammoth couldn't adjust to warmer climate and overhunting by humans. So you know what a woolly mammoth is? You guys know what a woolly mammoth is?
Yeah.
No? Let me Google it real quick. Yeah. So you do know what it is, right? Yep. It kind of resembles an elephant, kind of. But so this is a woolly mammoth. Okay. So a non-example of yeah, this is an old one, or this is like a recreation. Yeah. Did you see the last picture? So this will be a non-example would be they couldn't adjust to the warmer weather. So that's why they kind of, disappeared, extinct because they couldn't adjust and they were being hunted. So that would be a non-example. Huh? Humans.
That's why they come up and kill.
Yep. They couldn't adjust to it. So that is our next example.
How do you make it? How do they make it then?
How do they what?
What was your mom and dad?
They were extinct. So they just died off.
It was the mom and elephant?
All of them. Well, yeah, they're all gone.
What is the dad? Say the dog. What makes that? There's an actual
So you guys can go ahead and write this example or this sentence for our non-example. All right, woolly mammoths couldn't adjust to warmer weather climate.
But they live in the cold. They should have. They have enough air. To live in the cold.
Well, the weather changed. The climate started to change.
Like what?
It
Being
started to
hot?
get warmer.
Was that like in the North Pole? I mean, not. I mean, what's that? What's the one place?
Antarctica,
In Antarctica.
probably. Yeah, I'm not a real geography,
I'm not
savvy
really saying
person.
North Pole.
It'll either be way north or way very bottom, very top here.
Yeah,
You know,
where it's really, really cold.
You know, Antarctica is the desert.
You guys, can you give me a thumbs up when you have that sentence done? Philip, do you have that one example completed?
Yes, I have that down.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to the word family. So I'm gonna have to scroll over just a little bit. Now, this part you guys are gonna have to repeat after me, okay? You guys know what a word family is? Okay, so there are words in the word family.
I'm still learning that.
That's, go ahead.
You have to learn the word family. It's kind of hard for me.
All right, before we move on to the word family, so just like wild animals adapt to their behavior, people also have to adapt to new situations or circumstances. So imagine that you just switched to a different school. That school will have different rules and customs than the school you went to previously. So you'll have to adjust your behavior or adapt to succeed in a new school. You guys have already adapted a couple times this year just by the schedule, right? So just like how animals have to adapt to their new environments or new circumstances, you guys are doing the exact same thing. Every time we have a schedule change, or every time we have, no school on one day and then the schedule changes a little bit, you guys are adapting to that, okay? You good? You have it down, written down? All right, so let's look at the word family. So the word adaptation comes from a family. Now, there are several other words that we can see in the word adaptation. The first one is adapt. Can you repeat that? Adapt, good.
Adapt.
Philip, adapt. Repeat the word, Philip.
Adapt.
Good. So adapt is a verb. It's showing action, right? Adaptation is a noun. That's what we saw earlier. And adaptive is an adjective. Okay, so this is the word family. All right, here's some common phrases. Adaptation to, adaptation for, make adaptation. So you may hear some of these phrases throughout our workshop. All right, the last thing we have on this page is we have to show that we understand this word. So we have to come up with our own sentence. So it says some animals use camouflage as an adaptation to help them. So you guys have to fill out this last part. We've been talking about characteristics. So a characteristic of an adaptation is a change in how it may look. So camouflage will be an example. Do you want to share?
A cheetah one helps to survive. They want that.
Their speed, yes. But we're talking about camouflage. So speed and how fast they run is how they act. Remember, we're looking at the characteristic, how they look. So what's a change, or what is in, so it says some animals use camouflage as an adaptation to help them. Why would an animal need to change or camouflage the way they look? Aylin?
To help them catch prey.
Okay, to help them catch prey. Or what would be the opposite of that? Yeah, to help them hide from their predators. So if they're not hunting, they're the hunted, right? So,
Too small to hunt.
huh?
Too small to hunt.
We're too small?
The bug.
Oh, the bugs? Yeah,
The
so
lizard.
so some of them will have to camouflage, right?
Yeah.
To protect themselves from being hunted. So I'm gonna add to help them hide. I don't know why it does that. Hide from predators. Okay, so that pulls everything together. We've went over the meaning, we went over some examples, some characteristics, and now we have our sentence. Some animals use camouflage as an adaptation to help them hide from predators. All right, we good? Okay, we're gonna start on our next page. And this routine is familiar to you guys, but Markel, I'm gonna go over what we usually do, okay? So just are you finished writing? Perfect. So on the next page, if you wanna flip your book over, this is called our content area vocabulary. So throughout the lesson, we're gonna get vocabulary words. They're gonna give us a word, we're gonna go over the meaning and then an example, okay? So what we do first is I'll say the word and you'll repeat after me, okay? And then we'll go over the syllables here, then we'll go over the part of speech, then you'll rate the word, okay? You guys good? You guys know this part. So at the top of your book, you see where it says rate scale, rating scale. So then we have numbers. So you're going to circle each word after we go over it. You're going to give it a rate. So 1 means you don't know the word, you never heard it. What is this word, right? 2, you're gonna circle 2 if you've heard it before, you've seen it. You may not know the meaning of it, but you've heard it before. 3 is I think I know the word, and 4, I know the word and I use it. Okay, so we're gonna go through the 5 words first. You're gonna repeat after me and then you're gonna rate the word. Sounds good?
Yeah.
All right, the first word is behavioral. Behavioral.
Behavioral.
Good. Behavioral. Can you repeat that?
Behavioral.
Good. Philip.
Behavioral.
All right, can you tell me how many syllables does behavioral have? 4, right? And we know because we have these dots here that separate our syllables. And it's an adjective. So go ahead and write the word 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1, I don't know the word. 2, I've seen it or heard the word. 3, I think I know this word. And 4, I know it and use it.
Two, I think I know the word.
Okay. Our next word is environment. Environment.
Environment.
Good. Philip, environment.
Environment.
How many syllables does environment have? Environment. Environment. 4, yep. What part of speech is it?
No.
It's a noun. And you're gonna write the word 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Where do we write it at?
So you guys are gonna circle it. Do you remember how to circle on the Google slide?
Oh, yes.
You're You're gonna use that line here. If you forgot, click the scribble, and then you'll be able to circle. We're good?
Yeah.
We're ready for the next word? Next word is physical.
Physical.
Philip?
Physical.
Physical. It's an adjective. It has how many syllables?
3.
Physical. Yep. Write the word 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1, I don't know the word. 2,
Four.
I've seen it or heard it. Go ahead and circle 4.
It's for sure. What?
Did you circle 4?
Yeah.
All right. Next word is predator. Predator.
Predator.
Predator. Philip, say predator, please.
Predator.
All right. It's a noun. Has 3 syllables. Write the word 1, 2, 3, or 4. Ready for the next one? Last word is species. Species.
Species.
Repeat after me. Marcel. Species. Good. It's a noun. 2 syllables. Write the word. So those are our first 5 words for our constant area vocabulary. Now that we've gone through our syllables and our parts of speech, we're going to go through the meaning and the example. Okay? So you're going to write in your book and you guys are going to write on your Google Slides. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. All right, Philip's ready. All right. So the meaning of behavioral is related to what a plant or animal does. Okay? So in meaning, the meaning of behavioral related to what a plant or animal does. Example, a spider spinning a web to catch blank is a behavioral adaptation. So why does a spider spin a web?
Look at how.
To make a house?
Or sometimes to trap an animal.
To catch
Bad.
prey.
Yes.
Food, right? So we're gonna prey. A spider spinning a web to catch prey is a behavioral adaptation. That's what the spider does. Good? All right. Next word is environment. This is a noun. The meaning of environment is the natural world where people, plants, and animals live. The natural world where people, plants, and animals live. Example, one animal that usually lives in a cold environment is that's what I was thinking, yep. What's another animal, you guys?
Polar bear.
Polar bears. Philip, can you give me an example? Can you
Penguin.
use the sentence starter?
What is the penguin?
I can't hear you.
One animal usually is a penguin.
Yep. So that's what I'm gonna add, penguin. Good. All right, our next word is physical. Related to the body, parts of an animal. Hmm? Oh, this one isn't, so this is an adjective. In this context, it's an adjective. So related to body parts of an animal. Do you have part? Did you fill in parts? Not a verb. It's an adjective. One physical feature of a lion is. So what is a body part or physical feature of a lion? Aylin?
Maybe paws.
Huge paws. You said a beard? A mane? A large mane. Yep. What about huge teeth? Yeah, they need large, huge teeth to.
Jaws,
What'd you say, Philip?
strong jaws.
Yes, strong jaws.
Don't they do what?
Oh, I don't know if they do all of that. Yeah,
They drink. But
not like vampires.
vampires not them.
All right. Do you have huge teeth, or what did you say? What did you say? You can use your example. You don't have to use mine. Oh yeah, a large mane.
They don't use that to play. They use their
We have 2 more words. We have
They
10
use-
minutes left.
they
So
use their claws to play sometimes so because you know how sometimes when they want they do this and knock them down sometimes.
yep. I think Aylin, you
And-
said
and they
strong
fight
paws,
sometimes
right?
with their
Huge
claws.
paws.
They use their claws.
You ready for the next word?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Our next word is predator. An animal that lives by hunting other animals for
Food.
yes, good food. Yep. Our example. A blank is a predator that hunts small animals for its food. So think of any type of animal that may hunt small animals for its food.
Oh, hawks.
Hawks. That's a good one. Hawks. What else? What other animals hunt smaller animals for food?
The killer caterpillar.
A killer caterpillar. Okay. Philip, what's an animal that hunts smaller animals for its food? Do bears eat? Bears eat animals? They do? I thought they just eat bears.
They eat fish.
Oh, you're right. They do. They eat fish. Good. I'm gonna say a wolf.
They eat anything.
Bears. A wolf is also a predator that hunts smaller animals for its food. So we just came up with tons of examples. All right, you guys ready for the last word? You ready, Markel, for the last word? You ready for our last word? Okay, our last word is species. And then remember it's a noun. And the meaning of species is a group. A group of animals or plants that are similar in many ways. A group of animals or plants that are similar in many ways. All cheetahs are members of the same species. That's my example.
Can
Do you?
They don't mess with you unless you mess with them.
I think that's a popular animal, cheetahs.
No, you can have one as a man.
As a pet?
Yeah.
No.
But it's a possibility that they might turn your back on you and eat you.
Yeah, for sure.
But sometimes it's going to do how to cheat them.
I think actually,
Cheetahs are very, they stop cheetahs with meat. But once they cheetahs are out of your life, even if they're not new, cheetahs are nice.
I was gonna say, I think there's a lesson in our book that deals with wild animals. It might be my other class. All right, you guys have that last example? All right, so we're gonna go through all of these words, Markel. We're gonna go through all of these words. I'll say them, you guys repeat after me, and then we're gonna do one more quick activity, and then we'll be done. Okay? Sounds good? All right, the first word is behavioral.
Behavioral.
Good. Come on, Philip, we gotta do this quick. Quickly, behavioral.
behavioral means
No, don't read the meaning. We're just gonna repeat, okay? Next word
Okay.
is environment.
Environment.
Good. Next word is physical.
Physical.
Good. Next word is predator.
Predator.
Species.
Species.
All right, I'm gonna go over three examples. I want you guys to think of all of the words that we looked at today, and then you're gonna see which word best completes my sentence, okay? So the first one is one blank feature of a shark is very sharp teeth. So which word would best fit my sentence? One blank feature of a shark is its very sharp teeth.
Physical.
Physical, yep. So a physical feature of a shark is its very sharp teeth. All right. Cold-blooded animals usually live in a warm blank
environment.
environment. I want you to answer this one, okay, Markel? A turtle uses its shell to hide from a good. All right, so those are our 5 words. As we move throughout the lesson, we're gonna, you guys know that we're gonna learn more words. So it's important that when we go through these, you guys rate the word, understand the meaning, all that good stuff. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? All right. So really quickly for this week, before we end class, remember that on Thursday, I don't know if we'll get to it. On Thursday, we're going to be reading again so that you guys can get some time in for independent reading. And you guys will do student application, of course. This week, our you guys grades for student application. So even if you miss class on Thursday, you guys are still responsible. So if you got that time in today, you're off to a good start. All right, you guys have any questions? Remember, second period starts at 10:44. Did you need to use the restroom? No? Okay. Well, we're all done here. You guys are good to go. Make sure you guys are on time for your next period class. And I will see you on Thursday. Bye. You said, where is it? Yeah.